Caroline. Hi, everyone. Thank you. All right, like Caroline mentioned, Dealmaker is an opportunity that we have for Owners Club members. I know many of you are new to the community, so how many of you know what Owners Club is? Okay, so the rest of you do not. Owners Club is a group that was created about 2 years ago. It was launched at Squad Up 2025? No, 2024. It's been 2 years. And this is an opportunity for some high-level investors to come together within a smaller community, and most of them came out of Sub 2 or Gator or Top Tier TC, and some of them actually just attended Squad Up and joined. They weren't part of any of Pace's communities, and some of them actually came from Jamil's communities. Anyway, within this community, we have about 500 members, so it's a much smaller group. Elliot is one of our members. We've got Tanya here. We've got Gina. There are a few others scattered throughout. Anyway, they are very high-level individuals working and doing big business. And many of them come and present on Dealmaker before Matt Sorensen, who's joining us today. We have Pace and Jamil usually, and today Elliot is joining us as one of the panelists. So what do they do during Dealmaker? It's an opportunity for presenters to come up here, talk about a deal that an opportunity that they have, that they are trying to raise money for. So this is an opportunity for you to learn about how a deal is structured, how it's broken down, what are the risks they have to prepare for, how do they mitigate those risks, what does the deal have to present for an investor like you? Is there an opportunity for accredited investors? We'll talk about that during one of the presentations. Or non-accredited investors, what does that mean? And our panelists do a great job of asking questions and digging in and asking some of those questions that maybe the investor hasn't thought about, or they have, and then they have an answer for you, okay? So really what we're looking for are deals that make sense and deals that many of you in the audience can say, you know what, this is something I can get behind and I want to invest in this. But what is it we're really looking for when you're an investor? We want a return, right? And so they're going to break those down for you. You're going to see how these deal structures happen, what is going to be the return to you as an investor, and why you want to potentially invest in this opportunity. But these are real deals. So this is our mini Shark Tank. This is what I want you to see, is that you have the opportunity to invest in these opportunities that are going to be presented for you today. Okay. If you are not able to come to the next one, we have these on Golden Ticket. Every time there's a Golden Ticket, we have a Dealmaker presentation. And these are live streamed through all of our communities. So through Gator, through Sub 2, and through Owners Club. All right. Well, with that, up next, we have Ed Jones, another one of our Owners Club members.
What up? Bro, I am surprised to see you, dude. You're actually hiding today. You tried not to see me.
I was hiding?
Yeah, were you hiding?
Not really, no.
Okay. Dude, good to see you. This is exciting.
Fantastic. It's an honor to be here. Pace, Matt, and I got your name.
Elliot.
Elliot. All right. So this is a completely different kind of a deal. They were doing commercial. We're doing affordable housing. Now, we have an affordable housing program that we're starting up. It's called the Castle Project. And what we do is we use an unusual target market, which is single-family homes. And normally, again, Ingrid had just mentioned, you can't really get profit out of single-family homes. But we found a creative strategy that allows you to be able to get incredible profits out of single-family homes. And we can scale it. It can get some massive returns. And we're going to be talking about that in a bit. But first, I want to talk about myself. If I can get this to go. Here we go. Nope, too far. All right. So my name is Ed Jones, and I'm an MIT-trained engineer.
What?
Yes, sir.
Have I not known that about you?
Yeah, that's just who I am.
Bro. MIT?
Yep, I went to MIT. I have a degree in electrical engineering.
From MIT?
From MIT.
And I get to hug you?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. But at my core, I'm a business owner. I am an entrepreneur. I started my first company before I actually even graduated. It was in IT and computer services. Many years later, you can see the number up there, 30 years, I still own that company. But since that time, I have done real estate. I found my true passion, and my true passion is real estate. Particularly after I joined the Sub 2 community and I learned about creative finance. I love creative finance, and I love real estate. Now, My overall motivation for this Castle Project affordable housing, if anybody who knows me personally, I'm a giver. I'm someone who just gives. I'm generous. I like to be able to give to individuals. I give to my church. I give to community. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. Now, let me tell you a little story. 7 years ago, my community service changed completely. I met someone named Jim. Now, Jim and his mother were homeless. They were living right out of their car. Now, they were a little bit different because normally when you think of someone at a homeless, they have a little shopping cart and things like that. But Jim, he had a full-time job. He was an assistant manager at Walmart. So for someone like Jim, life happened. Something unexpected happened, put him out on the street, and they were just living in the street. Now, I met Jim because he called my church and he spoke to me. And he was saying, hey, look, we're in a really dire straits. It's the middle of the winter, it's extremely cold, and New England winters are off the chart. I mean, life-threatening, just terrible. And he called us, it was like a really cold spell. He called and said, hey, look, we're in our car, and our car is broken down, and we don't know what to do. So immediately, me being the giver, stepped right in. Got them into a hotel, was able to help them fix their car, and I found out that Jim could not get into a new apartment because he just didn't have the down payment. He couldn't bring together the funds to be able to do that. So for me, that wasn't a whole lot. It was like $3,500. Paid his down payment, changed his life forever. Sometimes people just need another chance and another opportunity to turn their life around. And since that time, I started doing community service, looking for families, because that was the different part. It wasn't just a homeless person. Entire families are out there. And I started targeting different types of families and being able to help them to make that change. Now, this method that I'm talking about has been flying under the radar. It's about 8 to 10 years old. There are thousands of deals being done. The average, get this, the average cash-on-cash return is over 30% for this method. Single-family homes. And many people don't even, 95% of the people have never heard of it. It's called the slow flip method. The slow flip method allows you to be able to buy properties for cash, and then you turn around and offer it to buyers on creative terms, low down payment, low monthly payment, and then allows them to be able to be in an affordable housing situation. Now, the difference with the slow flip method is that there's no repairs on the property, there's no rehab work that you do. You just basically buy it. Typically, you're buying mildly distressed properties, nothing really complicated for the buyers to be able to come in, and they fix up their own house. And these properties typically are very low cost. I'm talking sub $100,000 properties. And you'd be surprised, there's millions of properties across this country that is less than $100,000 each. So let me tell you another story. Christina's a single mother and living in southern Illinois. She has 5 kids. But she has a stable job. But the problem is that Christina only makes about $50,000 a year. How many people know that's going to be an affordable housing situation, right? So she had to live with her parents, and it was just hard for her. She heard about us doing the slow flip. We started doing slow flips in Illinois. And she said, hey, look, I found a house, Ed. Okay, all right. I want you to buy it and then sell it back to us on terms. And she pointed out that house right there. You see it on the screen. That house is a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom, double lot. It has a 2-car garage, and it has a pool. Only minor repairs, just cleanup work. And I'm like, okay, all right. How much does it cost? $30,000. I did one of those Scooby-Doos. What? Will you do it for us? Heck yeah. So I found a gator, did the deal immediately, was able to get her in that house. Was it affordable for her? Absolutely. $3,000 down, $975 a month was her total payment.
Wow.
That's affordable for somebody, even someone who's making $50,000 a year. And this wasn't unique. I found other wholesalers and people who were doing these deals in these individual states, largely in the Midwest and the South, who are doing lots and tons of these deals regularly for years. And their problem is that they don't have enough capital to take all of the deals. I talked to wholesalers who were saying, it's like, hey, look, we've had to turn down a couple hundred deals this year because we just don't have the capital. What? Okay. So that led me to our deal, the Castle Project. Now, the Castle Project is an affordable housing program built based upon this slow flip method. Basically, we're doing this at scale now. We're grouping it into larger cohorts, 30, 50, 100. Think of them as portfolios. And each one of those portfolios are properties that are all together that cash flow separately. Now remember, we're not doing any maintenance, we're not doing any repairs, we're not doing any of that. No CapEx expenses, things along those lines. It's just basically a bank play on those properties. Now, these properties also become a saleable asset, meaning investors can come in and out of it. Because again, we're going to structure it so that they're all in single entities. Okay? So we can either have LLCs, trusts, Matt knows about those, to be able to hold those properties. And then going forward, we're planning 3 Castle Project pilots over the next 12 to 18 months. The first pilot's going to be in Peoria and Decatur. And our goal is, again, we want to create a repeatable playbook on how we handle these properties. So it's not a one and done. Because our ultimate goal, we have things in mind. We're thinking franchise, we're thinking institutional capital to take it up to a really high level. Because once you master and get that playback down and be able to do it, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, you can take this way, way, way high. And then also when you're doing lots of these, what you can do is you can partner with local housing authorities, nonprofits for buyer sources. You can get state and local grants for repairs and materials so that folks like Christina, we'll give her a couple $1,000s to do the paint, do the repairs, do the different types of things that go along with just being a part of the program. Now, let's look at the numbers. So we're starting off, we want to kick this off with several savvy investors, not a large number of investors. We're looking for investors that are not one and done investors, but investors that can see the vision of this over this longer period of time and the bigger picture to be a part of this in order to kick this off. Now separately, we're also going to be doing a fractional raise for those smaller investors who want to just get into it and just want to be able to get the same kinds of returns. Now for the early, well, let's start with it. This is debt plus equity. Debt repayments over 5.5 years. Now remember, no other debt on these properties. They're owned free and clear. That's because the price points are just so low. You don't have to have any other debt. Repayment starts in the first year. You are completely, original cash can come out with it by year 4. First position loans, again, it's the properties that secure, and you're doing it across a pool, so it's not like an individual property that you have to be concerned about. Early investors, we're giving 30% equity of the pools. We'll also give priority access for any additional pools that they want to do. So if they bring more capital, once we start getting that playbook going, we can get this engine going, we can just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Because ultimately, a goal is to be able to get to the institutional level and really do this high. 2 exit strategies, long-term holds. Long hold term, again, these contracts that we're setting up with these people are 30 years long. So once we get going, that's your IRR, just your annual return, 22%. ROI, 239%. So once that debt repayment period is over, the capital investors continue to get $90,000 a year for up to 30 years. Cash out. Hey, I don't want to wait 90 years. I just want to get out and use my money to go someplace else. Again, there are note buyers that want to have $90,000 a year. So we estimated that to be something closer to an IRR of 28%. And you can, after the 5-year period, sell your position in that stock and just move on. But what we'd hope to do is to have someone that would be there for the long haul. And for fractional, again, for those that are interested in investing, we are getting ready, or we're in the process of working on a fractional raise, $20,000 minimum. You can use the contact here and download this deck, and we'll get you more information. Key risk and mitigation strategies. We have a whole long list of the different types of risks that we go through, and we just picked the top 3. First, defaults and evictions. We maintain a consistent 4 to 6 months and 3-month debt service reserves, so we have capital reserves that's built into this that allows us to be able to deal with unexpected changes. Vacancy could happen during that 5-year repayment period. We keep a waiting list of pre-qualified buyers for that 5-year period so that if someone drops off, we can bring somebody else from the pool and put them right in. Or, again, economy goes up. People may be saying, hey, I can refi out of this loan, or I can just sell my house and take the profit. we can just take the money that they brought in and just reinvest it in more profits, just to keep it going in order to get that return. All right, so founders are myself, my partner Brandon. He's on Columbia Business School MBA. He's a sort of financial guy that's gone through the numbers and different types of things to help with the projections. And he works at CBS and Paramount. And the two of us are forming the Castle Project. The Castle Project. It's a great opportunity to deal with families, to help families like I mentioned earlier, Jim and Christina. There are people like that that are hurting all across this country. This is one of the ways to make it happen for a lot of people. Hundreds, thousands, potentially tens of thousands if it gets up to the institutional level. Thank you.
My gosh. Bro. I need to get you on stage more. Why are we not getting you on stage more?
I don't know.
Bro, so good.
Thank you.
MIT? How hard was it to get into MIT?
It was hard, yeah. I was a
How
smart
hard
dude,
was it
though.
to
I was
get
a
a
smart
degree
dude,
from
though.
MIT?
Yeah, how hard was it to get out?
That's even harder. I got out.
With the degree.
And
like a real one, too,
MIT
engineering.
does not give away honorary degrees. You earn it or you don't.
I love it.
Dude. Okay, so Peoria, I hate Illinois, just FYI.
Sure.
Why? Landlord-tenant laws. So are you guys worried about, so I have 250 units in Springfield, Illinois. Mm-hmm. I'm not as worried about that area as I am Chicago. So I try and stay out of Chicago in terms of rental.
Absolutely.
You're giving people, so if you're buying cash, you're then selling these on seller finance. Are you doing this through a lease option, or are you doing this through some sort of agreement for sale, land contract?
Yeah,
Like a
so agreement for
contract
contract
for
for deed. Contract for
Okay,
deed.
contract for deed, cool. So you guys are still retaining the deed.
Yes, sir.
You're not just handing it over, so you're not doing
Correct.
a full foreclosure.
Correct.
Got it. So you guys are protecting yourself in that situation.
But they do have an equitable interest, right?
Correct.
You
They
still
do have
to do a
equitable interest.
foreclosure
Okay, so a
process.
couple of things come into play here. There's in Illinois, it's not the best state because they have a law that says you have to allow the person 90 days before you can move to evict. But it's still a lot better than many states who have, once you do a contract for deed, it's a full foreclosure. So you're going to be talking 9, 12 months.
Yeah.
To get someone out.
California being one of them.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So you already have that built into the plan.
Yes.
And do you feel like you have a shortage of deal flow, or you have an abundance of deal flow?
Abundance of deal flow. Again, the contractors that I'm talking to, I was talking to one last week, and he was saying, hey, look, we have portfolio dealers trying to sell us stuff. We had a deal earlier this year where it was like 125 properties. We can't do volume like that. Single deal.
I'm going to test an assumption. You know, there's states like California where the numbers don't work, nor does the regulatory environment. But this is a place, I presume you picked Peoria in this market because the numbers are really good.
The numbers are really good. The price points are really low. So that $30,000 I talked about is more the common type of thing where it may not be as big as the one that Christina talked about, but 2-3 bedrooms you can definitely get for $30,000. Somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000, which works great for our numbers. It gets, again, it maximizes our return, at least for the just right out of the gate.
Can I ask a regulatory risk question?
Sure.
Is there a mortgage or licensing issue? I know it's going contract for deed, but these are going to be individual home buyers,
Yeah.
not investor-owned properties. Is that a thing you have to navigate through?
Yeah, so there's specific laws having to do with installment sales in the state of Illinois. There's a number of regulations that you actually have to follow pretty closely, especially if you're doing this at volume. So let's say, for example, you have to record your contract with them within the first 30 days. Otherwise, you could run into some serious trouble and fines and different types of things. So we're aware of just all of the things that need to happen in order to make sure that you secure that buyer in that property.
So Matt, your question specifically has to do with the Dodd-Frank Act, stating that if you originate more than 4 loans a year, you are required to have a license. The way people get around that is that the Dodd-Frank Act specifically says if any one company, okay, so you could start a new LLC for every 4 houses or for every 4 loans you do, you could have another LLC. Or you could just hire an RMLO on your team and pay them $700 and they'll originate the loan. So at some point, either these brilliant Columbia and MIT graduates either have to hire an RMLO to collaborate with them and be inside of their business to originate those loans, or B, they have to create a lot of LLCs to limit their loans origination under 4 per year.
Because I think a lot of people who think of the PML, it's like the borrower is an investor, not a homeowner. And that's when these rules get a little more tricky.
So if the borrower is an investor, a lot of the regulations don't apply because those protections are there just for individual borrowers, like the actual person that's going to be living in the house. So that's where it gets really stringent, and they want to make sure that those people are protected and not taken advantage of.
Yeah, so RMLO is the solution to that, which is like $700 per house.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. If I invest, do I have to deal with anything other than collecting a check?
Absolutely nothing.
So tell me, why would I invest in one option versus the other option? I know the answer, but I feel like there's people in here that you said fractional, but there's a lot of new members in here that don't know what fractional means.
Okay.
Could you explain for 45 seconds or so what the different options are? Maybe we even bring that back up on his page to show those options. So you have pilot number 2 is down at the bottom.
Right.
I think that really needs a little bit more time for you to have people go, well, Ed, you said that you wanted sophisticated, less investors for option 1, which means that's not a good fit for me if I'm in the audience. I want to make sure that some people in here know that you have another option and what that option is.
Sure. Thank you very much for that, Pace. So what fractional is, are people generally familiar with like crowdfunding type of thing? So fractional was a platform that was developed for that purpose, so that you could bring a number of different investors together and pull all of your numbers into a fund, and then you move forward as an investment club, as opposed to someone who's just a private investor. I think that roughly has that general idea.
Yeah, so fractional allows a non-accredited investor to invest in a deal. What sucks about current SEC regulations is that the federal government doesn't believe that if you're not worth $1 million, they believe that if you're not worth $1 million or you make $250,000 a year, they believe that you're stupid. And they say you're not savvy enough to invest in deals because you're not accredited, which is ironic because the way that you get rich is by investing.
Exactly.
And so a sub 2 member, her name is Stella Hahn, created a company called Fractional to allow all of us sub 2 members to get around those regulations by doing an investment club. What is your minimum investment?
The minimum investment for that investment club is $20,000.
Okay, so if I throw in 20 grand, what am I getting in my pocket on year 1? What's my projected?
Okay, so again, all of the percentages there that we talked about there is going to be the same regardless of scale.
Sick.
So if you're talking about, again, that first year, numbers off the top of my head, okay, I'd have to recalculate the numbers, but you're talking about just overall a potential return of about 22%.
Okay, cool. So I throw in 20 grand.
Yep.
Within a couple of years, 4 years,
Yep.
I've got all my money back.
So less than 5 years, you've gotten all of your 20 grand back.
So
And
now
then
everything
you're
else
just
is
starting
gravy.
earning interest. So if your club decides, that, okay, look, we're going to do this for the long haul, I then will get a check every month for up to 30 years.
That's so good. Now, what I want to point out and what I like about the point you're making is a lot of people will go out and lend money at 12%, right? A lot of people does. He does. I do. But when you're lending at 12%, true inflation is probably closer to 6 to 8% in that frame. Mm-hmm. And so really what I'm actually getting as a return is I'm outpacing inflation by only 4% at 12%. What I like about it 22% is that I'm making really effective 14% on my money when I take inflation into consideration. When you're chasing investment and hyper growth, these are the types of deals you got to throw money into.
Yeah.
It's great. I love this.
Awesome.
Can I ask a couple more questions? Operationally, you're in New England?
I'm in New England.
Is your partner in Illinois, or who's boots on the ground? Or who's your ops team for these properties, dealing with the buyers and stuff like that?
So right now, for all of the purchase, and I've purchased like 8 properties in the areas right now. So I'm used to dealing with people remotely on the ground. So I have a couple of people who are my boots on the ground for this. And if we're talking about scaling up to these numbers, built into the plan are dollars that we could regularly pay someone to go out and do that. So we could block off someone's time or even hire someone part-time just to be available to go through and deal with all the boots on the ground type of issues.
Do you need any agents involved, boots on the ground down there, or are you finding these buyers without agents involved?
We're finding buyers without agents. So right now, again, because we're doing the onesie twosies, we're doing the typical renter searches type of things. But once we start doing this at scale, the plan is to be able to go and to go to local housing authorities, nonprofits, and offer this as, here's an affordable housing program. We need to find 30 buyers. So for a local housing authority, and you give them good terms, they're going to go, hey, we can help you with that. Or nonprofit, church, different types of groups, they'll help sort through those people. Now, we have our own buyer's criteria that we have. We go through and just make sure that people do qualify, they have the income, they have a number of things. I know she's giving me the nod. But in any case, any other quick questions before she pulls me
Bro,
off the stage?
I just want to say, I need to see you more. Like, you killed it.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Kudos on the mission.
Thank you, Ed. All right, so can I have a volunteer to take the picture?
Hey, guys, did anybody learn anything? Did anybody feel overwhelmed? Like, holy crap, those guys are doing a lot. That's how, isn't that the room you want to hang out in? Okay, good. Then you're in the right place. Mark, get in the middle, bro. I'm going to look lopsided over here.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Whose phone is that?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. The other way too.
Good job, guys.